Hi, I'm Philip Chavez, and we have Roberta Honquest, outside sales with CAI Designs. And today we are going to chat about Hartmann Forbes and their new rollout for spring. Welcome.
Good afternoon. Good to see you.
Good to see you as well. I mean, we work so closely together anyway, and then all of a sudden, here we are. We have a new platform.
Now coming from our homes.
Exactly. So really excited to talk about Hartmann Forbes. So really, how did Hartmann Forbes begin? Where did they come from?
Well, it's a 21-year-old company. They just celebrated their 20th anniversary last year. And their principal founder, Michael Jones, was very interested in resourcing from around the world. The natural world is made up of such unique and exquisite raw materials. So that's their philosophy. Their intention is to arouse the sense and calm the spirit.
Like the natural beauty, and that's something that I really love in my home, is something that has a natural material and mixing it in with a lot of things. And I mean, it's just, there's such soothing colors, the hand to them. Not that everybody wants to touch their window treatments, please don't. But the hand is so nice. So what is their sustainable, do they have a sustainable story that goes with this?
They do. They actually are rated as number 32 as the top green companies in Oregon, which is where they're based.
Okay.
So they source from around the world in raw materials, and they bring all of that material into Oregon where they hand loom each and every shade.
Oh, wow. Wow. So everything's made to measure is what you're saying.
Everything's made to measure. There's nothing that's sitting on a shelf. With most of their weaves right now, they can weave up to 180 inches wide without a seam.
Cutting out those seams is such a huge thing for designers specifically. So now we're going to jump kind of into the collection. I have a few of the pieces here with me right now, but kind of walk us through what the inspiration is and what their focus is.
Happy to. So this spring collection is about expressing the beauty and the mystery of nature itself. So the first grouping is a limited edition. First being Cable.
Okay.
Cable is based off of an African hand braiding.
Okay.
So these limited editions basically all have historic reference.
Oh, wow.
So this is African braiding. It's a little bit thicker of a texture. There are several of the weaves that have black introductions to it. This is the first time Hartmann Forbes has ever really had a pure black introduction. So yeah. Cable was the first. Tweed is the second one, and again, a single color. And this is a Scottish open check.
Wow. I love how it's slubby inside of there, like with the African weave, really stunning, and it really controls texture and depth with the layering of threading and material, obviously, but like the slubbiness of that is so nice.
Really, and it's got a beautiful soft detail to it. So it's the really cool grays that everybody's interested in, but a really warm sort of cream tone that they've added to it. So to me, it's like a perfect marriage for any interior, because a lot of people in certain areas of the country, especially Chicago, although gray is very popular, we have so many gray days. If it gets too cool in the home, it's difficult. So people want that warmth. So this pattern really adds that, which is great.
Great.
The next one, which is one of my favorites of this grouping, is called TATTERSALL. And this is designed off of 18th century blankets. So this is kind of a navy pattern. It's really unique and beautiful. And this is, again, one of those that can be up to 180 inches in width.
And I mean, it's so nice. It's that layering is just so nice with the warm and the cool, and then, you know, that contrast. I love that.
Exactly. And then the last of the limited editions is called Groove. So this is a mid-century modern texture, a little bit thicker again. This is the material that's in this. This has got black, browns, and a cream tone.
Okay.
And this has got water hyacinth that is woven into this.
Wow.
So that's another really unique thing about Hartmann Forbes is the materials that they use I mean, we're all familiar with cotton, linen, silk, those sort of things, but they use a lot of different grasses, paper products, birch, unbelievable different materials. And in the back of their resource guide, there is a tutorial of what those materials are, so that as a designer, you've got the knowledge to be able to express that for your client of what the material actually is being woven into these, how to care for them, and what sort of factors like how quickly they can fade, how do you clean them, those sort of things. Because we're all familiar with silk and cotton, but some of these you wouldn't really understand, you know, what the texture is going to be like, what the fiber is going to be like. So then the next collection that they came out with, these have multiple colors to them. This first one is called Jazz. So Jazz was inspired by visual rhythm of classical guitar strings.
Ooh, cool.
So it's a little hard to see.
Okay.
There's 6 colors.
I mean, this is awesome.
The next collection is called WICKER, and this is basically inspired by wicker basket weaving. And I just really enjoy the look of this pattern. I just think it's very unique and different from anything else that Hartmann Forbes has ever done. It reminds me very much of many of the other vendors that are out there that carry this sort of look. Palachek and some others. We've got so many different African and Mexican baskets and those sort of things that everyone is entering into their designs, and this just really plays off of it. And if you're not wanting the color, this pure cream is just really beautiful texture to it.
Oh, that's a great texture. I love that.
Yeah, absolutely beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Then the following one is called Awareness. And Awareness is really a rustic tonal pattern that is what is called papyrus reed. Papyrus reeds are all somewhat of a paper or pulp fiber material.
Okay.
And this gives you beautiful texture. They introduced one of these type of patterns a couple of years back, and I actually bought one for myself because I just thought it was absolutely beautiful and stunning texture.
It's just so soft, and it doesn't really assign itself to, it has a gender neutrality to it, I feel, for the design.
Gender and aesthetic. It's not going to be super contemporary or super traditional. It's going to flex between the two. I mean, I can see definitely taking something like this and layering in with a beautiful silk drapery and putting it in a really elegant dining setting, or being super casual just by itself into someone's sitting room, office, or family room situation. So depending on what you put with it, you can adjust the application of most of these.
And that's the beautiful thing too, is that this isn't one of those things where when you're designing, you have this kind of shelf life to it. It feels like it's one of those period pieces where you bring it into your home, and that's a piece that you want to live with you forever.
Right. So these are linens. These carry the certification of Masters of Linen. With Masters of Linen, it has to do with how this is forested, and it is the highest quality that you can find. So these can be obviously made into shades, but they can also be made into drapery materials. Sierra has 6 colorways, and Sierra was reminiscent of wind-blown desert sands. So I don't know if you can catch this in it, but you've got sort of a striae that comes through it, as if you've got that waviness to it. And then Mirage, their inspiration for this were desert tones, and there's 6 colors of this, and this is about light refraction. So as you look at this, this has got a little bit of a horizontal pattern to it, and you get movement across it. And as you kind of move this, you can kind of see how the light plays with it.
Yeah, the subtle rhythms that are created within each of these patterns is absolutely stunning.
And then the last one is called Weather, and then that's got 2 colorways. I don't have a sample of that, but that's a stone wash palette. And then the very last aspect of Hartmann Forbes, always in their collection, is wall covering. These are 3 new patterns. This is called Baja. There's 3 colors of this. And this was inspired by the sandy beach shores during summertime.
That's beautiful. And I know that we're going to give your contact information at the very end, but I just want to take a moment and say thank you so much for putting
You're
this.
You're welcome. This has been kind of fun. So
I know, seriously. I love it. It's been a really big treat. I mean, although I love to be out and about, being able to reach people in their own personal spaces and talk about things that they love is the part that excites me the most.
Well, thanks. I appreciate the time this afternoon.
Absolutely. Have a great day, Roberta, and thank you so much. And let's take a walk through the CAI Designs digital door.